waiting to be seen, waiting to be heard, waiting to belong. We walk past people like this every day. Sometimes, let's be honest, we are that person. The one on the outside looking in. The one sitting at the edge of a conversation, scrolling on their phones, aimlessly. We've been taught something about community. We're told, go out and find your people. Which people? Is there a website called findyourpeople.com? There is no framework to find the right community. It sounds inspiring, but it really isn't. Most of us were thrown in a world looking for community, to find a place where we fit in. But unfortunately, that doesn't exist. I remember last week when I stood on a stage right like this at the Toastmasters Division J contest. It was electric. The caliber of speeches that day, second to none. Second to none. I felt like I was on an international platform. It was great. My speech flowed aimlessly. I was in the moment, but I didn't win that day. In fact, I was disqualified for a minor time improvement. But what I found, what I didn't expect after my speech, people I had never met, people that didn't even know me were hugging me, calling my name, with JP, JP. My phone flooded with messages, all from the live stream, from the people I knew, and all from the ones I didn't. In that moment, I didn't feel like I belonged. I felt like I belonged. It wasn't about the spotlight. It was the energy in the room. That unspoken warmth that whispered, hey, we see you. You are one of us. That's when I understood community is not something you find. It's something you build. That chair was filled for me that day. Not by a friend, not by a room full of people, but by strangers. Total strangers. Most of us carry this myth, the idea that community is something that you just wander upon. That one day you walk into a room and boom, you magically find your people. I hate to break it to you, but that doesn't happen. In fact, that thinking is dangerous. Because when you don't feel, when you don't instantly feel connected, we start to believe the lie that I don't belong here. We start to believe that maybe I'm in the wrong space. That is imposter syndrome. So what do? We shrink. We wait in a corner, scrolling on our phones, waiting, looking up, no one is looking at me, okay, let me continue. Waiting for someone to say, hey, come sit with us. No one is going to tell them to come sit with them. They are all waiting for the same thing. Every single person in the room. That chair stays empty. Not because you don't belong, but because everyone's waiting for someone else to make their first move. We've normalized isolation in crowded rooms. We wear headphones, we stare at screens. I'm guilty of this. On my first day of school, I had my headphones on. I walked in, I looked up, I looked up, I looked around. No one's looking great. I continued scrolling. But let's be real. Studies show that 50% of young adults report loneliness. But how? When we are more connected than ever. So if everyone is waiting, who is going to start building? Let's get crystal clear. What do we mean when I say community? Community is not just a crowd of people. Community is a presence. It's not a follower count or a WhatsApp group. Community is a space of belonging. A place where everyone feels connected, by a singular motive. Community is built on these three threads: inclusion, connection, and collaboration. And it's that simple, but it's powerful. And the question, who's going to start building, led me to something I call the one-chair mindset. It's extremely simple, but don't confuse simple with small. Because this might be the most powerful tool we've got to build community. A space where people feel seen, valued, and invited to show up. Because all it takes is one chair. The one-chair mindset says, don't try to build a crowd, just build one chair. That is it. Don't make it complicated. Just one chair. When you walk into a room, don't try to say, how many people am I going to meet today? No, just invite someone over. Take a seat. A couple of years ago, I walked into a youth conference. I didn't want to talk to anyone. I was shaking. I stood at the coffee table, just waiting for someone to talk to me, to say, oh, I've never seen you here before, but no one did. I almost left. But then I realized something. What if I'm not the only one that feels like this? So I found someone who was standing at the corner just like me, and I said, hey man, is this your first time of being here? And that was when the conversation started. And just like that, a crowd started to form. A circle of like-minded people scared to speak became okay. And I have made some lifelong friends because of that. That is the one-chair mindset in action. The framework is simple. Notice who's missing. Next time you're at an event, or a class, or a meeting, scan the room. Find if there's someone that is just like you. You fill the chair if you don't notice. Make the first move. Be bold enough to speak first. Because have you noticed that the people that you remember are the ones that come to speak to you? They wouldn't remember you, they're just trying to network. But if you go, you meet people, you speak first, then you will leave a lasting impression. Invite, even if they say no. No one is obligated to accept. You're going to receive many no's. I have. But the fact that you have proposed, the fact that you put yourself out there, you are one step closer to building your community. That is how Changemakers Express Nigeria started, a youth-led organization co-founded by me and a few people. We don't have a giant following. We don't even have an office. In fact, all of the core team members are in different geolocations in Nigeria. But we persevered. We had a one-chair thought process. If we see you, then you have a seat. One connection turned into two turned into five, and now we have the thriving space for youth to share their ideas and build each other up to create a brighter future, a luminous future for us. Now, the truth is, community is not something you find, I think at the start of business at all. It's something you nurture. It starts with one chair. So here, I ask you, right now, whose chair are you going to fill? Because out there's someone walking into your school, your workplace, your neighborhood, and they just waiting to be seen. They won't say it out loud. How many of us walk into a room and say, I'm waiting for someone to see me? No one does that. They act like they're fine, but deep down, they're hoping someone notices, someone smiles, someone sees them. And you might be the person that sees them, not because you're special, but because you are willing. So here's what I'm challenging you to do. When you leave, I don't care if you're an introvert. I don't care if you think you're shy. I don't care if you're new. I don't care if you're unsure. In fact, I don't care if you are hungry. One chair, one person. At your next meeting, invite the person sitting alone. In your class, wave at the new student. At the gym, smile at the person working out. On the street, greet your neighbors. Online, DM that person that has little to no activity. Just one chair. Because here's what I know. If every person in this room and online is committed to filling one chair, we will build the community that everyone so longs to be a part of. And imagine, just imagine, instead of asking, do I belong here when you walk into a room, you say to yourself, who can I make belong here? Imagine instead of waiting, we start welcoming. Instead of hoping, we start hosting. And instead of scrolling past, we start noticing. One chair at a time, one person at a time. Because at the end of the day, we're all just chairs waiting to be filled. So don't wait, don't wonder, build, invite, and fill. Community is found. Community isn't found. It's built, one chair at a time. This is for you. Thank you.